Hello and welcome to today's discussion on blissful awareness. This is a good opportunity for all of us to talk about spiritual matters and anything which concerns us. So, all are requested to give their, if anybody wants to share anything or ask anything or any topic, then they are most welcome. Otherwise, we'll start with one of the Avdhut Geeta's shlok, and in between, anybody can share their views. So, this shloka is slightly different from Avdhut Geeta's whole context, and which is that it says that mind itself is without beginning, without end, continuous, and it pervades all that exists. So, he's saying not the essence, but the mind is also without any beginning. It is man ev nirantar sarvagatam. And then it says it is the ultimate reality and is devoid of vastness. Yet it is not correct to say that it is not vast. So again, the contradiction is there that it is ever pervading, all pervading, and all vast. Yet it is not, cannot be said that it is not vast. So this mind itself is pure, continuous, without break, witness, and is ever Shiva. Man ev nirantar sarva Shivam. And what can ever be said about this mind in words or imagined in thoughts? So what can be talked about this mind and who is talking? So this is a sort of a very revolutionary type of a shloka in Avdhut, because all maximum other places he's saying your essence is the one which is cannot be known, which pervades everywhere, which is the thing, which is all. Rest everything is an illusion. And when we talk about illusion, the mind is also a part of the illusion. But here in this shloka, he is talking something very different. That man ev nirantara sarvagatam. It is only the mind which is continuous, which does not have any beginning or an end. And it is ever present in everything that exists. Then he said that it is not vast, it is not expansive, it is not which is everywhere. And it is not that it is not everywhere. That means it is everywhere. And that is the ultimate. The mind is the ultimate. And then he says that mind itself is nothing but the Shiva or the experiencer. And finally, he says that once mind is there, what can be said about it? Or what can be talked about it? What can be thought about it? It is beyond all thoughts and imaginations. So, I mean, this is a sort of a very, I would say it's perhaps one of the ultimate way to express duality, non-duality. That whatever you see is mind. There can be only three types of experiences. One of the word, two of the body. Body means the senses. And three is of the mind. Ultimately, the word experience is nothing but the experience of mind. The body is also experienced only in the mind, and mind is obviously mind. But here he is going beyond that. He says that let us go deep into what could be the purpose of saying it, that the mind is itself continuous and ever pervading in everything that exists. That means Either you say it is mind or you say it is witness. It is the one and the same thing. There is no difference between the two. The words can be different. Therefore, it is said that seer is the seen or seen is the seer. Here, the reverse is being talked about, that whatever is seen is no different from whatever is seeing that seen. So, this is perhaps the ultimate form of non duality which can be expressed, that even the illusion is not different from the one which perceives the illusion. So the one which perceives, which is experiencing, is itself has become the experience. That's why it pervades in all the illusion. Whatever we call as illusion, that also is an illusion. The observer is the observed. That means what? Whatever you think as thinker, whatever you believe as perceiver, whatever you call as observer, whatever you say as experiencer, they all are mere words which can never be known unless the mind is there. And mind can never be known unless the experiencer is there. So they are always inseparable. They are never ever have become separated. That's the experience of all of us, right? So therefore, this is the ultimate expression of reality, that mind itself is without any beginning, without any end, and it pervades all that exists. Then he says, it is not vast, and yet it is cannot be said that it is not vast. So what is it then? Whether it is vast or it is not vast. He's saying both the statements in one sentence, that it is not vast, but this can also not be said that it is not vast. So you see the beauty of it, that how any chance of intellect getting into any sort of imaginations or concepts are all just removed from the base, from the foundation, from where they can ever arise. They are just shaken away. So what it could mean is that it is not vast, meaning thereby it is present in a single subatomic particle also. And it cannot be said it is not vast. That means it is pervading in all that whatever exists in the whole galaxy, universe, or whatever is manifested or unmanifested. So both the things at the same times are happening. That means what? That means that there is one, that it is beyond intellect, two, that it itself has become everything. There is no mechanism, there is no intermediary, there is no, we say, direct experience. There is nothing in between. That's why it is called direct experience. And once that is known, then nothing remains to be known. Nothing will ever prick your inquisitiveness to know something else. And this is one knowledge which cannot be updated. It's not that, like science, sometimes it comes out with certain theories after a few decades, more experimentation, and then they nullify the earlier theory and come out with something else, something new, because there was something new which has proven that the earlier hypotheses or theorems or theories or assumptions were not correct. So they have updated and come to a different conclusion now. And this type of investigation, experimentation, and modification of conclusions will be never ending in the illusion. because it doesn't exist as such. If we talk about non-duality, that means there is no word. I don't know how many people will ever appreciate or understand also this, that there is no word. We may give an intermediary way of saying that it is an illusion, but actually speaking, if we say non-dual, means where is the illusion? Who will say that this is an illusion? The one who is saying it is an illusion itself is also being experienced, right? I can experience that I know that this is an illusion. Now you will be caught in a very difficult situation to answer this question. We say there are only two means to get knowledge. One is direct experience and second is logic. But if you delve down deep, we say logic again is an experience. And there is no direct experience as such, because every experience which we get is through certain medium. But at the same time, there is no medium between experience and experiencer. So whole thing becomes very, I mean, beyond logic, beyond words. So the one who gets it, he gets it. The one who doesn't get it, doesn't get it. And how it is decided, who decides this? Again, we can poetically say it is Devi who decides. But what is Devi then? And how it is different from the one who is knowing that this is Devi? So in Sankhya philosophy, in fact, they have given a separate identity to to Devi. They don't say it Devi, they say it Purush and Prakriti. And both are having an independent identity. So that is also very good. But in non-duality, Advait, even that support is removed. It doesn't say that. So very few people perhaps will be able to get it, that what is non-duality in real sense. One is that you know it through words. One is that you believe in it, but then you also think that this word is real and it is important to survive here. It is important to work according to laws of this world, and life goes on. And many a times several seekers, they just go back to their original life and original way of living. But there are certain people, certain seekers who once they get it, they just can't leave it, and it is imbibed in their existence, in their beingness, because truth is one which comes effortlessly. If there is any iota of an effort, then it is not truth, because truth, as per the definition, is that which doesn't change. So that which doesn't change, what effort will be needed to establish in that? And that is perhaps the highest state, because there are three states. First is the state of not having any options. Second is the state of not having any desires, because let the desires be there or they don't be there. And third is the state of effortlessness, because you are okay that I don't know. You are comfortable that whatever comes is acceptable without any blame or without any guilt, without any pride, because there is no doer, there is no two, there is no separation. So once the options are taken away, that if I do this, then this will happen. If I don't do this, this will happen. Then your mind becomes restful. And once the desires are settled, then again you can be at peace with yourself. That is the only way to be at peace, which is your real nature. And once effortlessness comes, that that is the real state of freedom. Then you don't plead anybody, then you don't beg anybody, then you are at ease in everything, whatever is happening. That is called surrender. That is called the state of love. That is called the maturity of knowledge. I hope it makes sense. Then it says that man ev nirantar sarva shivam. It is the mind itself which is Shiva, which is the experiencer. So there is no difference between mind and the illusion and the one which is knowing the illusion. And he ultimately says that it is beyond mind. Manas api katham. It is not in the grasp of the mind. The mind itself is not in the grasp of the mind. And what can be said about it? Vatsa cha katham. What can be talked about it? It is beyond imagination, thoughts, and speech. Then why are we speaking? It is a good question why we are speaking. If we are in the company of those who can appreciate this, then there is no need to talk. But when certain seekers they are sitting on the verge, for them it can be useful, because how can anybody get the knowledge unless some teacher comes? And this is called grace. I think the self knowledge is perhaps more easily understood, more easily grasped through intellect, at least conceptually, that whatever you see is not you, whatever changes is not you, whatever is not changing is you, whatever is experiencing is you. But the knowledge of oneness, the knowledge of non duality, perhaps can come only with grace, even to understand it conceptually. That cannot happen without grace, without. Now, anybody may ask, what do you say grace is when it is all non-dual? So it's a good question, but the answer is very simple. You are yourself bestowing that grace on yourself as a play, as a leela, as a drama, as a movie. The one light has become multiple characters in a movie. For what? For entertainment, for love, for joy, for bliss, for thrill, for suspense, for sorrow. See, there is no sorrow in your life. There is no joy in your life. All sorrow in your life is because there is a lesson to be learned from it. And all joy is in your life because there is a lesson to be learned. If the lesson is learned, then joy and sorrow will lose their significance. Even if they are there, they will be like seeing a horror movie or a thriller or a suspense or a comedy. But you are very much aware that they are all my own projection, my own shadow, which is there but which is not there, which is because of me, but I am not that. Like an image seen in the mirror. The image in the mirror cannot exist if I am not there. But I am there even if I'm not standing in front of the mirror. So this is just an example which is given, but to make something which cannot be grasped by the mind itself. And the mind itself is all pervading. There is no difference between mind and the knower of the mind. That's what is Shiva, that's what is Shakti. Either there is illusion or there is the knower of the illusion. There can't be two. That's why it is non dual. So I hope this is clear. And if it is not, or else if you want to put it in different words, all are most welcome to either unmute yourself and speak up, or if you want to talk or discuss on any other subject, you're most welcome, because let it be more interactive, let it be more, cannot be and should not be a monologue. So I will pause here for some time if anybody wants to speak or write or comment or share. I don't think that it is I'm wrong or right. There's nothing as right and wrong in this whole universe. So the more you express yourself, the more clearer it becomes. That's the beauty of the satsang, the company of the truth, not company of any person, but the company of the truth. And from this company of the truth will come detachment. And from that detachment will arise removal of delusion. And with the removal of delusion will come the freedom. Not freedom, in fact, before freedom, the abidance in the self. And with the abidance in the self, you will be free. So, the importance of company of the truth, because it is ever available to you, either as mind or as the experiencer of the mind. There's nothing else in the whole world except you consider mind to be the reality or you see mind as an illusion. But both are truth. Both are truth. That's how beautiful Avdhut Geeta is. Because one shlok before that, he said, your essence is the truth. And in this shlok, he says, whatever mind is also the truth. So, whatever you speak, if you are speaking from that grace of oneness, then whatever you speak is the truth. Otherwise, if there is a single iota of doubt, then whatever you speak is false, is not truth. Because the one who is speaking is there. The one who is speaking is there, only then the words are coming out. The one who is speaking is the one who is listening also. And there is nothing in between. So I will pause here. I think all are already in bliss. So I think somebody is typing. Yeah, Rohit is typing. You can speak up also. There's no formality. Maybe there's nothing to speak, no? Because all of us have been attending this spiritual discourse. We have gone through the program and there's nothing left actually. It's sort of repetition. So one suggestion is that if any queries are there, then we will conduct these meetings. Otherwise, we will maybe have less frequent meetings. Yeah, Rohit has one question. Can we say awareness is not the doer, and then again it is the doer, because nothing is possible without awareness? Rohit, are you able to unmute yourself and talk? Because what do you mean by awareness?
Oh, I mean, experi.
Yeah, Chaitanya is different. Chaitanya is one more word for, I think your voice is rebounding. So just mute yourself when you're not speaking.
Okay.
Yeah, but awareness, Rohit, please mute yourself because I'm getting my voice back. Yeah, thank you so much. So when you speak, just unmute. So there is a difference because if we have to communicate, then the words and their meaning should be clearly understood by both the one who is speaking and the one who is listening. Because awareness, as it is defined in path of knowledge, is different from consciousness. Actually, there is no word as consciousness in path of knowledge, which is taught by Guruji to all of us. And if we listen to Nisargadatta Maharaj, you use different words for awareness and consciousness. He has put awareness as the supreme ultimate reality and consciousness as something which comes and goes. Whereas in most of other philosophies, consciousness is compared with Chaitanya. So the transmission or knowledge cannot be understood if there are different meanings taken to a same word. And therefore, if you say awareness and you are saying it as Chaitanya, which is the experiencer, the one which is the absolute knower, then the meanings are absolutely different. But if you are talking in that context, let me try to read that question again. Can we say experiencer is not the doer? And then again, it is doer because nothing is possible without experience. Then the question is very different because awareness is defined as the knowledge that I am the experiencer. So I'm interpreting the word awareness as experiencer or the witness or the ultimate one which is knowing, right? So, in that sense, the question is having a different meaning. Let me try to answer this. Can we say that the experiencer is not the doer? Yes, experiencer is not the doer because experiencer is just a witness. It is just a witness to whatever is happening. And then again, it is the doer because nothing is possible without awareness, without experience. This is also true. Very right observation that in one sense, experiencer or the witness is just there. It doesn't do anything. But at the same time, if the experiencer is not there, then nothing can be done. Now, both these statements are true, but the second statement is not that correct because there is no such time when the experiencer is not there. And at the same time, there is no such time when the experience is not there. And there is no difference between the two. So, for the one who doesn't has gone into depths of who he is, this is a temporary mechanism to satiate or to satisfy his intellect, his inquisitiveness. That see, there is no doer, you are not the doer, and but in the ultimate analysis, you will find that this is also a merely a word that there is no doer and there is doer and there is without experiencer experience cannot happen without experience experiencer cannot be there. See, the most difficult thing mostly seekers get entangled into is that they think that okay, without waves water is there, no, without waves ocean can exist, but without water waves cannot be there. But the thing to understand is that whenever water is there, it will have some shape. I mean, this is again a crude example, but nothing better can be given. So it is very difficult very easy to understand for the people that experiences are illusion, they are changing and not me. But it is very difficult for people to understand that the experiencer can exist without experience. They think or they imagine that experiencer is the absolute, it is the essence. So it can exist without experiences being there, which is again incorrect. And in that sense, doer is always an experience. You see, that whenever something has happened, after that a thought comes, I have done this. Then only it makes sense, right? Can it happen that the action has not happened and the thought is coming, I have done this? It is not possible. And any action is a result of so many causes that it is not possible to pinpoint one cause for the end result. In that sense, also, everything is spontaneously evolving and spontaneously dissolving. From where and in whom and for what and for why this is happening? These questions does not have any answer except that it is all play, except that it is unknowable, except that it is non-dual. If this does not satisfy the intellect, then intellect can get caught up in so many other things, in imagining concepts, in imagining a theorem, a theory, in running after experiences, exquisitive experiences, and so on and so forth. So coming back to your point that experiencer is not the doer, which is true, and again, doer cannot exist without the experiencer, which is also true. Therefore, it is proven that they both are one, the experience and the experiencer. I hope you got the answer. If there's some confusion, you can speak up or write. Thank you. Or else anybody else, if they want to speak about any subject or want to discuss anything, people are most welcome. So if nobody has anything to uh, talk or suggest anything, we may close our satsang here today. And, I would like to thank all of you for joining in. Just for the people who joined late, I would like to repeat some of the things which we spoke about, we discussed today about a beautiful shloka from Avdhut, which is perhaps one of the most unique one, which I also was surprised to see, because this is the ultimate of non-duality, which says that mind itself is ever pervading. Mind itself is Shiva. Mind itself is vast and mind itself is very tiny. So when this see every scripture says has their unique way. Every teacher has their unique way. Some seekers will get attached to it, attracted to it, will understand and imbibe and get drenched into it, get intoxicated by it. And there will be other seekers who will just put it as rubbish. They will just throw it away. So it is not everybody's cup of tea to understand that if the connection with the Guru is there, if the satsang is happening, if the desirelessness has happened, if the mind has encapsulated, if the mind has come to rest, come to the peace, come to the core of its own being, then it is carefree. Then it knows that alone is existing. Then the grace is flowing. And ultimate grace is when you are expansive, you are everywhere, and you are nowhere at the same time. Then both the statements are true. Then there is no conflict. And from that not non-conflict state arises the acknowledgement of perfection. And from that acknowledgement of perfection will rise the state of desirelessness. I mean, desirelessness not mean that you you leave all the desires. Desirelessness means none of the desires is you or yours. And you also know from where the desires are arising and where they are dissolving, and how many desires are arising and how many are dissolving. You become sensitive to it. You become aware of that. And ultimately, the effort is dropped. The practice is dropped. There's no one to practice, nothing to achieve, because you never lost anything, nothing to gain. Again, because you can never gain anything. And whatever you will gain will not be permanent. And that which is permanent can never be gained because it was never lost. So, in that sense, the grace of the Guru takes you to the grace of your beingness, of your existence. Good. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll see you next Friday. But in case somebody has any suggestion or topics to talk about or to suggest, that will be great. Otherwise, we'll see you next Friday. Thank you so much for taking your time out and listening to whatever was being shared. And I don't know whether it made sense or it doesn't make sense. That's okay. That's okay. Because nothing will make sense unless you go within yourself to understand what is being talked about, what is being pointed to. And if that pointer is taken in the right direction, then nothing is needed. Then the job of the teacher is done. Then the job of the scriptures is done. So live in the grace of your own presence. Become aware of the awareness. Become aware that you are the one which is aware. And become aware that there are not two awareness. And become aware that whatever you are being aware of is itself the awareness. Then there is no conflict. And we live from where the life is born, the the source of the life. That is what you are. That is what Shiva is. That is what mind is. That is what the experiencer is, and that is what the experience is. Thank you so much.